Great. So we've now got our supports and we've got our actual piece here. Now the nice thing about preform, if I can zoom quite in here for you, almost there, there we go. It has the file name embedded into the base there, which is quite a nice touch. Excellent. So all we need to do now is send that one to the printer and get that one going. The other thing we need to do is to print, or to laser cut, the keys out. To do that, we're going to use another bit of software. We're actually going to take it through Adobe Illustrator, and then Illustrator talks to the software that runs the laser cutter. Okay, we've now started a new file in Illustrator. This one's way bigger than it needs to be, but that's okay. And we'll come down here and make sure that the color mode is set to RGB. We can then open our file. So come down here to Inventor Online. Here we go. So keys laser cut file. So open that one up. Now, scaling is very important here. We need to make sure that it's the original size, and we're using millimeters, and that's good. Excellent. So here's our tiny, tiny little keys. So I'm going to select those and go up to our Properties tab and make sure that the color of that is red, and I need that to be what we call 255 red. So it's purely red, no other color. And that's the information that our laser cutter uses. And the stroke size needs to be 0.01 millimeters. Or 0.01 point, sorry. So it's just there, it's kind of hard to see, but it is there. And then all I need to do is to print that. So go File, Print. And there's a bunch of options. I'm going to make sure that I've selected TrueTech Engraver, which is our laser cutter. And all I have to do is click Print, and that file comes up in this software called Job Control, and this is the proprietary software for our laser cutter. And here's our laser cutter file. So bring it up here, and you can see it's a tiny little file. And then I can select my material I want to do it from. Rubber keys, as fun as they would be, might not sound too good, like ours with leather. But there's a bunch of different plastics that I can choose from, and we'll cut them out of that. We'll also probably cut some wood ones. Great, let's head to the machines. First we need to get our laser cutter bed to the right height. Then we fine-tune the focus by moving the laser cutter head to somewhere in the middle of the sheet and using this little tool to get the focus position quite right. When it falls off, that means you're in focus. Very simple, very effective. In the software, we've now got a live location for the laser. So we can drag the pattern to that, click the Go button, and we're cutting. This is sped up, but the laser does cut very fast. Now we wait for the extractor to finish doing its work. That's indicated by the little light just next to this fan. When that goes off, then we can open the lid and see what our work looks like. The next part we're making is on our laser 3D printer. This uses a UV laser to harden a resin. This sort of plastic is called thermosetting rather than thermoplastic. And it can't be recycled. But it does make very accurate and very strong parts. What you end up with looks a lot like a really complicated icicle. We then take that and we put it into a bath of isopropyl alcohol to get rid of any excess resin. This is a bit like a dishwasher. Once the part's clean, we can use a drill and a tap to recreate those threads. I didn't have any small enough bolts to use the threads that were there. Now our part's clean and the holes are accurate, it goes into the UV curing oven. This uses the same UV light that the laser uses to harden the whole part. The harder resin will resonate the sound better from our keys. Now we'll find out how it sounds. Frankly, it's a little bit disappointing. So I made a steel version on our water jet cutter, and I'll show you how I did that in another video. While the steel version worked better, it's still a very small instrument and it's only going to make a very small sound. Thank you for joining me on this tutorial. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below and I'll answer them as soon as I can.